Good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is the moment every morning I realize I have not combed my beard.
Is that what you do when you're coming close to the camera there, you're checking your beard out?
No, it's like, fuck, I didn't comb it. I hope nobody notices. Can I
noticed.
justify it? Can I make it right?
No.
Too late. As scruffy beard it is, one more day.
Disgusting. All right. Hans Comyn.
Hey, Dolores. Dolly.
This Sunday is Father's Day in many places around the world. And we're running on this theme of fathers. And I thought today we could inquire into what if we had no father? What if you had no father? What if I had no father? What if you listening or watching had no father? And so imagine, I mean, obviously if you didn't have a father in any sense, you wouldn't even be alive, right? But, you know, when you think of, you know, people out there are thinking of like honoring their father. Some people have such resentment and anger and things like this, conflict with their fathers, that they can't think of anything, right? They don't want to honor their father at all. But the one simple thing that your father is, he was half of the equation, you know?
Yes.
He brought half of the equation. You wouldn't be alive today. You would not have life. You would not have the things that you have in your life. You wouldn't have the, you know, swimming in the ocean this morning, like without your father.
I usually, I remember, I usually celebrate my birthday 9 months before my actual birthday, and then I thank my parents for
Getting it on
that wild night somewhere in 1974. You know, 9 months. I'm thinking about that. You know,
Imagine if you could go back to that night.
If that wouldn't have happened, you know, I would not have had this.
Imagine that your dad was just thinking of the great son he wanted to make that night. You know?
Imagine the condom broke that night. Fuck. No, but it's so.
Well, for some people, you know, that's one of their biggest complaints about their parents or their fathers, that they don't feel like they were wanted or intentional. That they were an accident.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
It's a big wound, you know.
Yeah.
But
I wasn't an accident.
You were not?
No. They had actually my.
That's what they told you.
No, that's what they thought. But then they saw me and they did. Oh, it is an accident. No, they had a child before me and it died before it got born. And that's, wow, adding even more to the impossibility of me existing. That adds even more. I'm still here. Victory, man. Woo!
Yes.
Thank you, Jacques Comyn. The great Jacques Comyn of Clan Comyn. What a great man.
Yeah, you know,
I was imagining it without him. That would be, wow, a complete different life, I think.
Yeah, imagine like either your mom as a single mother, trying to make it on her own, or a stepfather, right? Like imagine your dad passed away early, or they got divorced or whatever. Maybe he passed away. You know, imagine like what would you not have in your life? What would I not have in my life? It's tough for me to imagine when we were teenagers, you know, my mom had divorced my dad, and he wasn't in the home, and and that was a very difficult time. Of course, they were going through divorce, but you know, my dad brought just like a sense of stability. He was always, you know, like we're doing our rituals here. My dad was always up early. He was always, you know, going for a run, exercising. He was always on with his diet. He was, you know, making the business work. He was just like steady like that.
Yeah, my father too was like the beacon You know, he's like the point of reference of the family, for sure. Like just the way he was, is just the leader of it. You know? I'm imagining also. You asked, so I'm just going down that lane. You know, I'm seeing how, you know, I wouldn't be trained in victory. You know, it's just, and just I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, he's not out there riding his bike.
Yeah. But also just
he's not coaching you guys in football.
Yeah, fucking A, man. Jesus. Also, like, just the trust in life, I got that from him in a way. Like, 'cause I feel that he's there always, you know. I feel he's, whatever I would need, he's there, you know. And he's always been. And sometimes he would do it in a grumpy way, but he would do it. Fuck it, I recognize so much now.
What?
No. I see a lot of him in me, you know. Spend your whole adolescent life trying to run away from your dad, and then you realize, fuck!
You are your dad.
I even walk like him. You know? I see pictures, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And but luckily he's a great man. So
yes.
No, I wouldn't have the sense of victory. I wouldn't have that trust in life that everything is going to be okay. That I'm assuming. At least I got that from him, you know. So maybe with someone else I would have that too. But yeah, it's like that strength, that force, that point of reference, that something you can hold on to, bounce off. You know, it's like being raised. You were raised with Mormon. I was also raised Catholic in a way. You know, and it gives you a point of reference. You know, against which you can rebel, against sometimes you can use, but it gives you something to work with, you know. It's like if you have too many options, you have a blank canvas, you don't know what to do, you know. But if you have some lines, you can work with it, you know? That's the same thing I feel like my father was and is. It's like a point of reference and give me a language to speak, you know, a language to deal with the world. Yeah, what a great man.
One of the things that my father was for me was he was like the guy that took me into like the wilderness, you know. Like a lot of my memories of my dad that are like special memories, they're going hiking, going camping, going out into nature, you know, beautiful nature. Yeah.
Wow, that's so funny.
What's funny?
Is to see you like, like how that defines you. Because, I mean, you can see your adventurous spirit coming from that. I could totally see my like athlete mentality coming from my father, you know, racing bikes and playing football. He was always there, soccer. He was always there, you know, bringing me to trainings, games, you know, celebrating with me, being my coach sometimes, fighting, you know. Crying.
You know, my dad, like we were quite well off, you know. We were able to have like big homes as a family, big pieces of land to run free on. And yeah, a lot of like I'm thinking of this one house we had out in the country. A lot of the people around us, they, you know, like my friends and stuff, you know, smaller pieces of land. Didn't have as much money. We had all kinds of like dirt bikes and 3-wheelers and dune buggies, and like we just, you know, because of my dad's hard work, you know, his work ethic, put himself through dental school, and incredible work ethic. And yeah, so just having that kind of expectation of money and that kind of, I guess, like everything that we had back then.
Mine stood more for growth in that, you know, because we were raised in Belgium, so compared to the world, we're just fucking rich, you know, it's ridiculous. But in Belgium, we were not. My father was a truck driver, my mom's a nurse, and I remember us not being rich at all. You know? But I never thought. I just think of it backwards, you know, because we never got candy. You know, I went to school in like you have these sponge. You know how you have these sponge pajama pants, spongy.
No.
It's like a.
Oh, the long johns we call
Not underneath the real pajamas, but they're like a spongy material.
them. Okay.
So my mom cut those off, and that's how I went to school. So
Wow. I see where you got your sense of fashion.
Okay, I'm no comment on that. But I never told this story. I want to tell this story. Just fuck it. Now I want to keep these videos. This is a great way to honor my father.
Yes.
Here's a story that really typified my father and how he influenced me in my life. And fuck, I love it so much. What a great man. Maybe with the years it changed a bit, but I was 6 years old. I remember I had my outfit of Belgium on with this is in 81, 82, so it was the great Belgian outfit with the 2 stripes here with the logo of Belgium. It was red and had red pants also, and on top of my red pants I had long, like sweatpants, I think. I told you this story already, but not on camera. And my father said, let's go. He had this plan, you know. We went to school, all 6 years old, in class, and he had told me to do this, and I did it because I loved it. Yeah, let's do this. And I go into class, and I say in the middle of class, my father's outside the window still watching, and I say, I want to take my pants off. And everybody like, hilarity, I don't know why, you know. I'm looking around like, fuck, he's gonna take his pants off. And I take my pants off, my sweatpants, and I have the shorts underneath, you know. And as I do it, I laugh with everyone. So they cannot laugh. I laugh, I got you all, you know. And I still remember my father being outside, like thinking, like this, you know. So, yeah. That's really how I go through life today, I feel. And it comes from my father, you know. Like don't try to fit in, you know, or really like trust yourself, you know. You're special, you know, and that's good. And I always felt I was special, you know, and I was celebrated for it. I mean, there were fights around it too, of course, but he never tried to have me conform, because he himself was also a rebel.
You're definitely special. Did you ride the short bus to school? So,
the great Jacques Comyn.
Yes. You know, inside of the Mormon church, that fathers give like a father's blessing. I don't know if it's supposed to be a yearly thing or if it's just sometimes this happens. I'm not quite sure. But I know that what we used to do, I think it was just what we did in our family, is before the school year starts, you know, we get a father's blessing. So, and I write about this in one of my books I'm working on, you know, but like my mom's there and she's taking notes of what, like the revelation my dad's getting for the blessing and all this. And he puts hands on my head. It's like this warm feeling, you know, this adult man's, my father's hands on my head. And he's really like feeling the spirit, and he's really just speaking from the spirit about like what's coming through. And yeah, like some of the things that were pretty constant were basically, you know, bless you with an ability to see through the bullshit when you go to school, you know, like there was definitely a distrust of the state, the school, these external people, and like a blessing that I'll be able to, that I have what it takes, you know, to do that.
Confront that.
And yeah, I definitely rely a lot on my self-trust, you know, like I have a lot of self-trust, maybe sometimes too much, but
That's good. That's good.
Like I'll dress myself today. I'll look good when I'm.
To me, it looks like faith, but
despite all
of that, here I go.
But you know, I've read back over some of those father's blessings that I had like when I was writing that book, and it's like a great way to kind of like say who you are, you know, who you are in the eyes of God, who you are in your Father's eyes, and.
Sorry, I just realized how that is the greatest gift. You know how we're thinking about like even how we work in our groups and the masterminds and the adventure learning that we do, is that we're not trying to turn the unknown into the known, give them answers, teach in the traditional way. What we really aspire to is what can we do? What can this brotherhood do? So this man trust himself that he has what it takes to navigate the unknown. You know, that's what my father gave me. That's what your father gave you. It's like, you got this.
I think that's the father's role.
That's the father's role. That's the father's role to say, you got this.
And it's more the mother's, make sure you're okay.
Yes.
Don't go out into the world, you might get hurt. You know?
Jump. I remember jumping with the BMX, you know, I make like little things to jump off, you know, and mom would freak out. Well, we can do this a little higher, we could go a little further.
Your dad saying,
you know,
that.
you got this. Yeah. That's the greatest gift, you know, and that's what so many I see in the work that so many men have to fight for. They didn't get it, you know, they didn't get it from their fathers, you know, and or their parents. So it's a precious, precious thing, you know. It's a precious thing that I received.
Yeah, I had another thought. We could do it on this live or on a future one. But thinking about like the shit your dad had to deal with because of you. You know, like we could tell some of those stories.
That's going to be like, we can do that in 1 minute. Let's do that tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
What else, Hans? Like if you didn't have your father, what would you not have? How might your...
Well, I'm imagining just the financial thing, you know? Like he made that family, he provided for everyone. He provided until I studied, you know? So that's just 20 years, you know?
I'm thinking back to my dad used to like once a year get together with his 3 brothers and sometimes a couple other guys, and they'd do these trips together where they'd either go out and ride 3-wheelers in the sand dunes, or they would ride snowmobiles in the mountains in the snow, and they just go do these these guy trips together. And yeah, to me it was always like really attractive, you know, there's definitely men out there and fathers out there who don't go and do that sort of thing, you know. And so
I see that now too. Sorry, I'm getting
call
excited.
to Brotherhood and the wild. And
my father he has 2 brothers, and they would get together in family reunions, and they're just insane. Like really, I'm like, what the fuck? They would just be ridiculous and feel the liberty of doing that. You know, they would rehash old stories, and just one phrase would mean a whole story to them, and they would be in their own bubble, you know, and they would invent games. I remember this because in the family they're all farmers, and you have farms, and they would invent. I remember there was a little hole in the wall, you know, and a whole afternoon they would try to throw the ball in there, you know, like this, and everyone would gather around trying to throw that, and then when they scored, they would just run around, just insanity, you know. And I see pictures also when my parents got married, you know, and his brothers are they're insane, you know. And I think that's just to take that liberty I got from my father too, not to like try to be normal and be decent, you know.
You know, there's a story I have. You were talking about how your mom dressed you in pajamas for school.
Did I say that on the thing?
Yes.
Okay.
And,
it's not pajamas, and I never thought of it as an issue. Okay. I never. They called me Sponge sometimes, but I never thought
SpongeBob.
because we didn't have SpongeBob.
Sponge Hans.
Sponge Hans. but I never thought of it. Like it was a problem.
Well, my story's a little different. So my mom, I don't know if she made these or had them made, but they were like these pastel colored, really soft material, like these little outfits, shorts and matching shirts and everything. And she dressed all of us children in this, and I'm the oldest male, right? I don't know how old I was, but maybe somewhere around 12.
That's not 11, right.
11.
Dressed like your sister.
10, 11, 12. I don't
dressed
know.
Like your sister.
We're all dressed the same.
Oh, come on.
And it's like, there's high pressure to do it. It's whatever. It's what you're wearing today. I want to.
Oh, fuck that shit.
And we're going to my grandfather's house on my dad's side. And, this is out west, and we're arriving, and we all get out of the car together, and my uncle, Bob, who's now passed away, he was the youngest of my dad's brothers, and him and my dad, they're just kind of laughing at us, making fun of us. And I was not happy, I was not pissed off, but like I kind of agreed with them, I'm like, yeah, why do I have to wear this shit? And I don't know, that's I definitely didn't like it at the time, but that's that male hazing that I'm actually glad that I had.
Yes.
I'm glad that I had. And I never wore anything like that ever again.
Now at family meetings, you're looking at how the others are dressed, and you dress differently. But I have two more stories of my father. I remember my grandmother, the mother of my mother, she would give, with Christmas or so, she would give presents also to everyone. And it was always like a perfume. I still remember denim. And my father gave me like a peek behind through what's normal and what is accepted. Because I remember carrying the perfume at the bottle, and I went through the hall and I dropped it.
In the hall.
And I'm thinking, I start crying. Fuck this expensive whatever cologne. I dropped it. And I still remember my father looking at me, and he said like this, "Don't worry, I don't like it anyway." And I'm like, I was crying, and then I get a peek like, the fuck, this is like, he doesn't even care about this. This doesn't really matter. And it was so brilliant, For me, it was so liberating to see that. Oh man, I also, this you will not believe, but it is true. My father was playing football with his team, and we went to the seaside, and like I said, he was very supportive of me, my father. And he said, go in the front, take the microphone and tell jokes, And I still remember to this day, I'm completely I'm so I think I'm great, I still do, for whatever reason. And I start telling jokes, and I remember the whole bus, laughing that this little kid is telling jokes, And I remember telling jokes that I didn't understand, and that's why they were so funny. Like this cafe, this barman who had thrown out all the chairs in his bar, and he said, they're all sitting on my wife anyway. You got it? Meaning they're having sex with her. It's a joke I didn't get as a kid.
You told it because you heard your parents tell it.
Exactly. Anyway, I'm telling this joke.
My family. Okay, finish your story.
In Dutch, it's sitting on your wife means having sex with. Anyway, and
that's how you guys have sex.
Yes, and I remember telling this, everyone laughing, and my father sitting there all proud and happy too. That's so great, man, to get that support,
Yeah.
To know that you're good, whatever you do, it's okay.
It just reminds me, whenever we get together as a family, like a family reunion. So my dad and all three of my sisters and one of my brothers are out in Arizona right now at a family reunion. And they'll do this. They'll get the littlest ones up, to tell jokes. It's similar kind of thing, And they'll make up their jokes. They'll just make up things, and And we all bust out laughing like it's the funniest thing that we've ever heard. And then they keep going and going and going.
And maybe that was
and
going
none
on.
of it's funny. None of it's funny.
Maybe that one was going on the bus there. I thought it was funny.
But you just start laughing that it's not funny and it's ridiculous and that they love it and it's, yeah.
No, that's not true, because I remember another kid also trying to tell a joke and it wasn't so funny. And my father would tell me that too.
Yeah.
The other kid was not so funny as you, man.
Yeah, so your dad gave you confidence, I can see.
Yeah.
You know?
Or trust in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the greatest gift. Trust in, like, you're okay. You got this. You got this.
Yeah.
I think that's the greatest gift. Yeah, what a great man. Comyn.
Yeah, I think maybe this is more for tomorrow, but the times my dad has, we all, I'm not sure about my little sister Alicia, I think so, but all of his 6 children have left the church, and he spent his whole life trying to raise us right, teach us right, all these rituals, all this investment, and we've all gone. And how many times my dad made a special effort to come to me, really be in his heart, speak from his heart, and try to stand for me in a way, you know.
Try to save you from damnation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that tomorrow. But do the announcement for in a couple of hours from now.
Today we're doing a webinar where we're going to start writing letters of honor to our fathers for Father's Day. So imagine that you could honor your father in a deep way before he passes. We never know how long we have and how long our fathers have, or anyone has. So at 12 noon, we're going to be in the Honoring Fathers Facebook group. So join us there and join us in writing your letter.
Noon Eastern time, right?
Noon Eastern time.
Noon. So what time is it now? That's maybe the best. It's around 8:30.
Well, no one's watching it live, so noon Eastern.
Noon Eastern.
9 Pacific.
9 Pacific. 6 in Madrid, Brussels. 5 in the UK.
We'll see you there, and then part 2 will be at the same time on Thursday.
Right. En Dolores, ik zal u later van antwoord dienen.